Hey everybody, and welcome to BK's Bullets. Today we're talking The Button, our review part 2, which is the last 2 issues of this 4-issue storyline. Hey everybody, and welcome back to BK's Bullets. I am your host, as always, Brent Finishes, and today we are going to finish our Button discussion and review that is in issues Batman 22 and Flash 22. And I'm wearing my Flash shirt because Joshua Williamson did most of the work on this miniseries, at least in terms of scripting. He scripted the Batman issue and the Flash issue, so I figured instead of my Batman shirt, there's plenty of him around me back here, I'd represent the Flash with my Flash t-shirt. Hope you like it. Got it from Kohl's a couple years ago. No idea. Sorry if you like it. I don't know where to tell you to get it. Anyway, so The Button. Previously, where we had left off, the Reverse Flash, otherwise known as Professor Zoom, real name Eobard Thawne, had come into the Batcave, beat Batman to a pulp, and then suddenly disappeared and then died before the Flash could get there in 1 minute, as Batman called him. And the second issue of the storyline, the first issue of Flash 21, was Barry and Batman, examining the remains of Eobard Thawne, looking at the the crime scene, as it were, in the Batcave, and trying to figure things out, and then departing on a journey into the Speed Force of the time stream, or the dimensional barriers, to try and trace this weird energy signal that they had found on the Button, which is the Comedian's button from Watchmen. He wore it on him. It was the thing. It's the thing on the Watchmen cover right here. It's the thing on the Watchmen cover right here on the cover of the book. This is part of the Button. This is the Comedian's blood dripping down. It's the first image in the book. In the first cover right here, a little bit different image of the Button, but you got the pages in here with the drain and the slow pull up from the drain into the street as the blood rushes, or washes away in the rain. So that is the Button that we're talking about. That's what the storyline is called. But is it anything to do with this Button? No. Major disappointment right there. And I'll just let you know out of the way that the only thing that happens in terms of that Button in this storyline is it gives off energy, and they trace that energy, and then they go back home, and that's it. And basically that entire energy thing, Eobard Thawne discovers, he says he's seen God, and that person kills him, which we are to assume that person is Dr. Manhattan, the big blue naked guy from that Watchmen series I just held up. And that's about it. 4 issues for that. Again, not again, but no answers, just a whole lot of questions. And ultimately, at the end of Flash 22, it's like, oh, this is what you're actually doing. You're somehow secretly announcing a miniseries with Jeff Johns and Gary Frank coming in November called Doomsday Clock. That's what you're doing. These 4 issues were all set up just so you could secretly, quietly, pseudo-announce that. Even though, again, like everything surprising in comics these days, was leaked to, or purposefully leaked anyway, to the USA Today and comic sites the day before, on Monday or Tuesday, before the issue came out. So when we got the issue on that Wednesday, a couple months back, this wasn't a surprise at all. The better of the 2 issues is obviously the Batman issue, Batman number 22. But I will give credit where credit is due. This issue was mainly scripted by Scott Williamson, who is the regular Flash writer. I was listening, I noticed this on the cover, and was like, that's interesting. He's writing mainly, Tom King was credited for the script. Both of them. Tom King is the regular Batman writer. Joshua Williamson is the regular Flash writer. They were credited, both of them, for the story for all 4 issues. The first issue was credited script-wise to Tom King, meaning he wrote out like the issue-to-issue script, more than just the outline, which is the story credit, I think, normally. But he wrote everything out and gave it to the artist, Jason Fabok, to draw. This time, it was Josh Williamson doing those Batman chores, giving it to the artist, Jason Fabok, to draw. Boy, again, did Jason Fabok draw some beautiful, beautiful art. I'll be happy to showcase some of that cool stuff here in the sidelines for you. But it is enormously beautiful art. But anyway, credit where credit is due. Josh Williamson wrote a great Batman issue having to do with mostly the Flash. So I don't know if that means he would be a great Batman writer, if he's just a great writer in general, which I'm personally leaning towards, because his Flash run is great. You got to check that out. If you've not checked out the Flash run with starting from Rebirth, just start from issue number 1 and go straight through. It is a fantastic, fantastic run. So Batman and Flash are in the time stream, or the multiverse stream, whatever you want to call it, the barrier between worlds, and they're tracking this energy, and then boom, they land up in the Batcave, and they look around, they find Thomas Wayne Batman from Flashpoint. I got my Flashpoint Paradox DVD or Blu-ray right here. So the Thomas Wayne Batman is the one we're talking about in this corner right here. So anyway, they find him, and it's Batman talking to his dad, who's also wearing a Batman costume, coincidentally, and they're talking about being Batman and, you know, how it's affected his life. And then suddenly the warrior Amazons from Flashpoint break in, and they're fighting them, and the issue kind of culminates with Thomas Wayne telling his son, leave, get out of here, I've lived my life, I'm fine. I guess he's going off to die at some point. I'm not sure where this takes place in the Flashpoint timeline, because if I recall, Flashpoint Batman, it's a mouthful, was at the final battle with Flash. Anyway, I think they kind of talk about this a little bit in the issue, going like, I don't remember. I remember one thing and now I'm here and blah, blah, blah. But anyway, it ends with Thomas Wayne telling his son, don't be Batman for me. Go live your life. Go enjoy your life. Live a real life. And Batman's kind of like, whoa, like this is totally surprising. I mean, but duh, of course, what father is going to tell his son to live a terrible, shitty life? Especially as Batman. As cool as Batman is, I would not want my son to do that. So anyway, they're in the barrier between worlds again, and they find Eobard Thawne, and wait a minute, Eobard Thawne is dead, but oh, guess what? Somehow this is the one that was traveling. He's going to meet God. So this is right before he met Dr. Manhattan, who is the God he's talking about here, and right before he died. So that's who he's going to meet. We go and we kind of see that again, and he leaves them. They can't catch up. You know, they're trying to run the cosmic treadmill as fast as possible, and all of a sudden, Jay Garrick, the Flash, the guy with the helmet from the old Earth 2, not the new Earth 2, comes in and saves them and pulls them into their universe back home again. There's some exchange of words, and then Barry can't remember what his name was, even though I think he told him, or didn't tell him. He tries to touch him. Jay Garrick kind of phases out, and it's, so Flash basically can't pull him from the Speed Force like he did Wally West in the Rebirth special. So they're basically saying, like, Barry Allen is not the lightning rod, so to speak, that is able to pull him from the Speed Force. Someone else is going to have to do it. And also, too, in the first issue, if you go back and watch my Part 1 review, there were some JSA references. You know, they had the old man yelling at the wizard, or the genie to come save him, and other things like that in those first 2 issues that ultimately led up to nothing, apparently, other than they were just kind of, I guess, foreshadowing for us to see Jay Garrick here in the last issue. But the last issue ends, Jay Garrick disappears, and then they're back in the Batcave. They're talking at Bruce's parents' grave, and then Batman's kind of reflecting at the window, thinking how maybe he shouldn't be Batman, and we'll see where that goes, I guess, this year. Cut to the button pages, and you see the button somewhere being picked up by a blue hand, and then that's where we get the epilogue and the 9-panel grid that leads up to a cracked Superman shield, or battled Superman shield, and then the thing for Doomsday Clock coming in November. So, I was really looking forward to this crossover when they announced it, because the button was kind of the thing in the Rebirth issue that, was the biggest mystery, the biggest question in everybody's mind, and now to see that it is just, it led to nothing, personally. It was a real big disappointment. All in all, an enjoyable story. I would have rather, I guess I would be a little less disappointed, or a lot less disappointed, if they had called this story something else. Flashback to Flashpoint, for God's sake. Do that, instead of it being the button and making you think we were actually going to get some answers. So, shame on me for wanting some answers out of here. It was a secret prelude to the Doomsday Clock storyline, and just like the Dark Knight's, Forge and casting preludes to the Metal event that's coming out here, didn't tell us anything. This also didn't tell us anything. So I guess I should stop getting my hopes up that these preludes are actually going to be anything more than teasers or trailers that I actually have to spend money on, unfortunately, to read these. So, you know, it's an enjoyable storyline. I think for the emotional qualities, just for the Batman fan, you'll really enjoy that Batman 22 issue. But hell, I would say you don't have to buy the trade. Just go buy that one issue. You watch my first video, go buy that one issue, and then finish this video or whatever, and you'd be totally fine. You don't need the other 3 issues just to tell that story. I guess they needed the Flash and the reason for the Flash to take him there, but you could have done that in 2 Batman issues or something like that. So all in all, I think the button was a disappointment. The writing was very good though. The art was very good though, but I think the unanswered questions are just starting to wear on me, or maybe they are just because I was, you know, last episode I was talking about the Forge and the casting, so who knows. But anyway, did you guys enjoy the button? Let me know right down below in the comment section. Give me a like, subscribe to the channel. Let me know what you think. What topics do you want to see me cover on future editions of BK's Bullets? Anyway, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys in the funny pages.